What's up? Brendan Lutz with TransWorld MOTOcross. We're coming to you guys today from Milestone Motocross Park, and we're testing out the 2013 YZ250F. I'm not going to kid you guys, this bike is just about identical to last year's, aside from some bold new graphics and a new white rear fender. But with that being said, Yamaha sells almost every single one of these bikes every year. It's a very popular bike. And last year, it received a ton of new changes. A new frame, new swing arm, a ton of updates to the motor. So let's just get into how it performed for me out there on the track. Last year, the changes that Yamaha did to the motor really updated it, gave it some good usable low-end torque that led into some good top-end pull. And not being changed, it's again the same this year. Going into tight ruts, I really found that the power was very good and usable. However, I did come into some instances with issue with the bog on the bike. Being carbureted, that you still kind of have to fine tune the carburetor so that there's no bog and that the throttle response is nice and crisp. It's just not like some of the EFI bikes out there. Once it does get fine tuned and everything's in order, it works great and the power is awesome on this bike. I had Yamaha adjust the injector pump on the carburetor a little bit. They went in one turn on it, which alleviated the bog and fixed everything, and after that it just worked flawlessly for me. I've always really liked the suspension on this bike, and it's not any different this year than last, so again I'm really pleased with it. It's nice and progressive. For the average guy, I think it would work really well. It was a little soft for me, so I had them go in 2 clicks on the compression front and rear and a quarter turn on the high speed on the rear shock. After that, I didn't have any complaints about it. It worked really well on the big jumps, some of the rolling whoops out there, and the chop coming into the corners. It didn't kick me or anything in the chop, which was really good. It just stayed nice and planted for me entering corners. And in the corners, the bike turns really good. The chassis change last year really gave the bike a planted feel, and obviously not being changed from last year, it carried over to this year. So really pleased with the overall suspension and the handling of the bike. Even though the motor is nice and strong, I still found myself using the clutch a little bit out there in the tight ruts. Like I said, it had some good low-end hit, but in order to just keep it in the meat of the power, I found myself having to tap the clutch a little bit. And in doing so, it started to fade a little, but that wasn't anything that just a few turns on the adjustment knob on the handlebars didn't help. A few other things I want to mention that's nice for this bike to come with. Like last year, it comes with black rims. Just give it that really cool factory race-ready look. This year they changed the bars. They're still the same Pro Taper style oversized bars and the same bend as last year, but they're now black and they're just Yamaha branded handlebars. So there you guys have it, the 2013 Yamaha YZ250F. Not many changes aside from a few cosmetic. However, last year's bike was solid, so this year's bike is more of the same for us. Check out the next issue of TransWorld MOTOcross though for a more in-depth test as we take this bike to more tracks around Southern California and really put it through its paces.